To title pool in the chat, title pool 1985. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you so much for the support. Of course, you can hope you enjoy the emotes. We do give out we do have emotes in the chat, and likewise we also give out replay packs. If you want replays of some of the events that we cast, then check out the Discord server, as you will gain access to a specific channel where replays are shared to our subscribers. So you can check us out there if you want those replays. Otherwise, we're jumping into our final best of 5 of the broadcast, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing used to represent Sidestorm Gaming. Actually, is he still on? Hold on. Hold on. Is he? He is. Okay, so representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MindelVK. Hold on, I'll fix that up. Out of game. As we're settling into our PvP. Here we go. Now, we've been here before in the previous series between Classic and Arrowfire. We have a 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of MindelVK on the high ground. This is very unorthodox on a map like Ultra Love, as MaNa is going for a more economic build instead. Gate into Cybercore into expansion from the side of MaNa. So very economic, very greedy play here, which means that MindelVK has to make a choice. The pressure is on MindelVK. Does he all in? Does he try to punish the greed of MaNa? Does he try to play from behind instead? What's the plan? Does he macro? Does he take a natural base? Or does he commit into a proxy? For now, I do not see a probe. There's a probe across the map, but there's no probe out to throw down any kind of proxy location. So it looks like MindelVK is going for a more standard approach instead. As MaNa does open up Stargate before expanding. So Stargate opener. This means that if MindelVK does go for the all-in, then MaNa has access to Void Rays. So Void Rays can be produced if he feels threatened, or if there's no all-in, and if MindelVK expands, then MaNa can open Oracle to harass across the map. So in MaNa, he has options. He can just go Oracle to harass, he can go Void Ray to defend, and it looks like MindelVK is setting up for the expansion. Ooh. Never mind. Never mind, as MindelVK, I see a second probe moving out. He moves out with 2 Stalkers. We have 2 more Stalkers on the way. It looks like MindelVK is setting up for a proxy. As otherwise, there's no reason for this probe to be here. Show us the pylon. Show us the setup. The probe has arrived. There it is. There's that proxy pylon. MindelVK is committing. Meanwhile, MaNa expands. Does expand. We have the shield battery on the way. Is going to be opening up Oracle as he believes he's safe. But the Stalkers have arrived. And can MaNa hold? Denies the shield battery. Shield battery goes down. Has to be rebuilt. Once again is being targeted. Up, up. Ooh, we don't get the cancel. That's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel on the shield battery. Meanwhile, proxy gateway's on the way. MindelVK commits. Nice snipe with the Oracle. He gets 1. He gets 1 Stalker so far. We have more Stalkers on the way. We need that Void Ray production. There it is, Void Rays on the way, but that's Anatosis pylon. The pylon! The Anatosis pylon is under fire. A couple more hits and it is going to go down. We need that Void Ray desperately. As it's not going to pop out. 1 more volley. What a boss! Oh my god, depowering everything. Yeah, the pylon, losing the pylon is brutal. Trying to rebuild. Backup pylons on the way. Void Ray does not pop. Again, MaNa thought he was safe. That's why he opened Oracle. He thought he was safe. He wasn't. But he does repower. Shield battery's up. More Stalkers have arrived. Up. Oh my god. Stasis going off. Catching 1 Stalker. And as the Void Ray count gets higher and higher, MaNa is looking more secure. As the Void Ray has arrived. Pulling back. There's a prismatic alignment. Has to be respected. Nice control so far to MaNa, but he's out of energy. He's out of energy on that shield battery. Backup shield batteries on the way. Warp Gate's still not done. And the Void Ray goes down. Massive pick up, and MindelVK is done it. He breaks through the Stargates. Pushes in, no more reinforcements, no Warp Gate. Stasis goes off, gets triggered. GG gets called, and MindelVK, he fights back. Whew, oh my god. He does fight back. He does take a lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Again, a little bit of a misread out of MaNa. Again, MaNa, he thought he was safe. He thought he was secure. He thought we were macroing. That's why he did open Oracle, and we saw that Oracle was a little bit lackluster. We saw some stasis traps being thrown down, and he caught like one stalker at a time. Again, if he was a little bit more aware, if he had recognized what was happening, then again, we didn't need those Void Rays. It was also brutal to lose the first shield battery because the first shield battery was killed. Sorry. First shield battery was cancelled, second one was killed. That meant there was no support to help support the Void Ray, to help maintain the position. Everything just went from bad to worse. A very, very intense game. Mindel takes a lead. Oh my god. Mindel does take a lead in the series. And now we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Frostline. Oh boy. Now, as we load into Frostline, this time neither player is going to be tempted to go for a more economic build. There is no ramp coming into the natural, so we should not be seeing a faster expansion. We should be seeing double gate openers. And as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make this a series. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MindelVK. Let's go. And again, as we mentioned, this time there is no ramp. There's no ramp coming into the natural, which means 2 gate openers. 2 gate openers all around. Mirrored builds. This time we won't have that kind of dynamic where we have MaNa being more greedy and expanding and being the defender, and his opponent going for the all-in. I mean, we could still see all-in, so don't get me wrong, but in general, the opener is much more mirrored here. We're keeping up with each other. Now, MindelVK is making a second gas geyser earlier on. MaNa's is a little bit later, so there's a slight variation when it comes to their builds. The gateways are finishing up. We should be seeing the Cybercore momentarily. And then we'll see the deviation. It does come down to what units are made first. Do we go double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, double Adept, Sentry into Expand? There's a lot of different combinations. Each one has its own purpose. Each one leads us in a different direction. So we're waiting for that Cybercore to embrace our first 2 units. Let's go. Do need some time. As both players are scouting with their probes, they scout the pylons. Pylon in the main for MaNa, pylon in the main base for MindelVK. Cybercore is done, and what do we have? We have Stalker Sentry out of MindelVK. We have a Sentry into Expand out of MaNa. You see the Zealot here. The Zealot is only being made to make it look like he's making units, so he just cancels. So again, it's mainly a fake out here for a faster expansion. So Sentry Expand out of MaNa, very greedy build from our Polish Protoss, and MindelVK sees. He saw the timing of the Nexus, and now the pressure is on. We're in a similar position as last game, where MindelVK is going to be behind economically. Does he commit into a proxy, and does he go for an all-in? My eyes are on this probe. He has to make the decision here. Does he throw down a pylon? It looks like he might. Does hide the probe. Never mind, he's expanding. Okay, so he goes down to low ground. He will expand. Nexus is on the way. And MaNa will have a nice economic lead. We'll have a lead. As we are going to slow things down. Robo opener as well. MaNa, he plays very safely as well. If Mindel did commit into an all-in, MaNa, he was ready for immortal production, so very safe play out of MaNa after expanding. And this means that MaNa's going to be stuck at home. Basically, what occurs from here is that MaNa can try to harass with a Warp Prism, but outside of that, he's going to have immortal production. He's going to be having a less mobile army. He's going to be stuck at home defending, and it's going to be MindelVK with map control with Blink Stalkers. The pressure is going to be on Mindel to contain and to get some counter damage done, and to try and take a faster third base. Take a faster third instead to recover that way. At least that's what we expect out of MindelVK. We'll see. She does move out. Does poke out, does force field the ramp, or does force field the natural. Alas, does not quite get the sentry yet. Sentry taking a lot of hits. A lot of damage. There we go, one sentry goes down, he gets one. He gets two. Takes down the stalker. Oh my god, takes down the stalker as well. And MaNa's in trouble. MaNa, he is in trouble. These are better trades for MindelVK. I mean, not losing anything. He takes down two sentries and a stalker. And not a single unit has gone down, so a very nice control here by Mindel. Behind this, the first immortal is about to pop. Takes down the shield battery. Shield battery does go down. Pylon as well. Throwing down the force field. Boys are being pulled. MaNa is getting desperate. And Mindel doesn't quite shade in. Does shade into the middle line. Probes are going down. Getting 4 probe kills so far. And Mindel, in the aftermath, he's up in workers. He does outtrade his opponent. And he's working towards Blink. Now, what does MaNa have? The immortals. Remember, that immortal count, it's slowly building up over time. It's building up a higher immortal count and a +1. He has the better upgrades. +1 is on the way. This Warp Prism tells us that he intends to break out. He intends to push. Set the pylon. Mindel takes the third base. MaNa throws down the Twilight Council. Now, this tech structure tells me that MaNa most likely isn't going for an all-in. He had the option to throw down like 2 or 3 more gateways and just commit. He is pushing, he is moving out, that is true, but I believe MaNa intends to expand. And there he is, he's set up for the Nexus. Expansion is going to be on the way. MaNa moving out. Hallucination will scout the setup. Ooh, MaNa, he is not expanding. He might still throw down the Nexus, but that is going to be Glaives, not Blink. This is the beginning of an all-in. Glaives do not scale well into a longer game, but they're ideal when it comes to soaking damage and protecting Immortals and committing into all-ins. Meanwhile, we have the dive. Bold move here out of MindelVK, bleeding out a lot of Stalkers, does not get the Immortals. Much better trade for MaNa. Much better. And here come the reinforcements. And again, MaNa, he never did expand. The probe was scattered earlier by the hallucination, but it was a fake out. He's here to make it look like he wants to take a base, and he isn't. He's pushing. Pushing out instead. Prism survives once again. Trading well. Here comes the main army. MindelVK is distracted. Doesn't get eyes on this. Here we go. Here come the warp-ins. MaNa, he has double the army supply. He has an insane army here. And Mindel, I don't think he can fight this head on. The force fields do help, though. Force fields help. But Lass is being forced further back. And MaNa, he might just snowball out of control. Is pushing in. Again, he has 3 Immortals behind this as well. Goes for a dive, takes out the Prism. Prism goes down. He gets 1 Immortal. Can he get 2? He's bleeding out too much. The boys are being pulled. Desperation move here out of MindelVK. Down to 4 Stalkers. It's not enough. Mindel's being broken. And MaNa, he's popping up with the 2-base all-in. Or is he? Up. Here comes extra warp in. Extra warp in does complete. A third Immortal has arrived. There is no Warp Prism, there are no reinforcements. Despite that, MindelVK is struggling. Again, he invests into a third base. He lost 11 probes, and MindelVK is still equivalent here in the worker count. MaNa, he rotates. He rotates over towards the third base. Boys are being pulled. He wants one of the Immortals. Oh god, he barely will get one, but GG gets called. MaNa, he overwhelms, and we tie up the series 1-1. Whew, let's go. GG, well played. MaNa does tie things up. Again, MaNa faking a third base, and MindelVK took the bait. He took the bait. He was probing up very hard, saturating his third base, skipping warp-ins, being on a lower gateway count, and MindelVK was overwhelmed. as he was getting ready for a longer game state, and MaNa was not. GG. GG, well played. Whew, that leads us into game number 3. And who will take a lead? Who will take a lead in the series? Who will advance on into that next round? As a reminder, though, this is a best of 5, so we have plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. We are jumping into ley lines. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, being forced into a tied series. It is MindelVK. Let's go. As once again, we do have our 2 gate openers all around. Once again, there's no ramp coming into the natural on ley lines, so there's no setup for a more greedy build. Instead, 2 gate opener versus 2 gate opener. But our probes are on a mission though. Hello. As MaNa, he moves out his probe towards the top left. This looks like a position for a fake proxy pylon. Meanwhile, MindelVK moving out for a scout. Not hiding his pylon. Okay. Or is he? Yeah, just scouting. Just gonna be scouting. There we go. As he does make his way towards the natural. And we can see that MaNa, he actually sticks around. He throws down the pylon, he's coming back. This wouldn't be a bad location for a proxy Stargate. This should not be a proxy robo. This is just way too far away for a robo. Cybercore is about to finish. Show us a Stargate or a Twilight Council. Oh my, he is going for the robo. Huh. Okay. You have my attention. It's the MaNa. So the reason why I did not suspect this to be a robo is because this is very far away ground-wise to go for Immortal production. Very far away. So Proxy Immortal is not going to be an option, I don't think. He can go for a War Prism. He can go Proxy War Prism to harass into the main. That is an option here for MaNa, but he's quite limited in what he can do. Is going to be quite limited, but we'll see. As MaNa is being active with his second probe. Ooh, MindelVK is scouting, checking the left hand side. He will check the close by locations, but he won't keep going as he knows the pylon is missing. He's looking. Double hallucination scouts, checking all the standard locations. Is going immortal. Okay. But is he going all in? I mean, he's making it look like he wants to expand. But I would imagine this is going to be a fake out. Mate, the twist, the turns. Show us how to PvP, MaNa. Double it into the main. Gets surrounded. Getting 1, getting 2, getting 3 probes. Robo open out of MindelVK, playing it very safe. MaNa does not expand. And he is making a second immortal. And this is such an awkward, like, all-in here by MaNa. But it is an all-in. It is a one-base all-in. He is not expanding. And I believe Mindel will. Oh, no. Another gateway. Good read so far. He found it. He found it. He does find the proxy. He does find the robo. He's aware of the all-in. He's aware of the all-in. It's a bit of a more awkward setup here. And it took a lot longer to scout. I'm not entirely convinced here by MaNa's build, but we'll see. Let him cook. Let him cook. That's what I say. Mindel goes for the shade. Does get into the main base. He can one-shot probes. Uh-oh, there's nothing in him to defend. Probes are going down, forcing a recall. They'd have to recall back. This will delay the push. MaNa, can he pull this off? Making his way towards the natural. 8 probes going down. That's insane damage. Let him say threaten another shade. They break in. Oh no. And MaNa's being pulled apart. I mean, he was already all in, but now he can barely sustain himself. And all Mindo has to do is survive. Just defend. Nice force field. Locks down the army. Good juggling into MaNa. Does save the Immortals. Pushing up the ramp. Going for a massive warp in. It's a bold move. The Prism is going to be targeted down. The boys are being pulled. Prism will fall. No more reinforcements, but the warp in does complete. A lot of probes are going to be falling. The Immortal cannot engage. And MaNa, has he done it? Has he pulled this off? Nah, not quite. Yeah, with the 2 Immortals here, Mindel, he should clean this up. He should survive. Yeah, the shield battery's within range. And this was a crazy build out of MaNa, a crazy proxy location. He gets completely shut down. And MindelVK holds. He's up in probes. It was a much more messier defense because of those force fields. I mean, the impeccable force fields out of MaNa. But MindelVK, he should have this. Again, I feel like this build from MaNa really had to have like the surprise factor come into play more than anything. Because it's just such a weird location. But it's also working against MaNa as well. As he's being chased down. Does have force fields though. Up! Catching out 2 Stalkers. Very nicely done. As the MindelVK does overextend. And he should back off. He should just back off from here. Pulls away. Does pull away. Still very tense. Mindel is still ahead. But despite being ahead, I mean, there's still opportunities here for MaNa. As Mindel, he's going for the proxy. He's going to depower it. Yeah, MaNa out of position. There's no saving this Robo. Robo gets depowered. MaNa going to be forced to engage. And Mindel, does he stand and fight? Yeah, he has to. Going to be locked down. 1 Immortal does fall. Nice pickoff. Trading 1 for 1. 1 for 2. There we go. As everyone's going to lose their Immortals. Immortal counter resets. The Prism does arrive. Mindel, he can juggle back. Can juggle back here. Can reinforce as well. And again, Mindel should shut this down completely. Catching the sentries. MindelVK has the Immortal lead over his opponent. And MaNa going for a desperation counterattack with these Adepts. Alas, the pylon is in position. Mindel, he's ready. He's ready back at home. He will defend. Takes down 1 Adept. Going for the other. Mindel pushing his way up the ramp. Catches another Adept. Trying to force his way in. Last MaNa will break out. Does break out, is sustaining himself. Oh, trying to catch a Stalker. Alas, he shouldn't be able to. Oh no! Well, the Stalker's getting very low, but is saved. And here comes the Immortal. Here come 2 Immortals even. And there's no way that Mindel loses this fight. This time there's no force fields. There's no sentries. Oh. Nice volleys here on the War Prism. Prism taking a lot of damage. This time Mindel a little more attentive though. Expanding behind this, getting a natural. Chasing this down, containing MaNa onto 1 base. And Mindel doesn't have to push up this ramp. He can try to focus on the gateway, sure. But does not have to push in. Okay, just going for the gateway. That's all he needs. Trading with the army. Gateway is going to get picked up. The Prism taking a lot of damage as well. Has to be careful. As MaNa has rebuilt the Robo, Adepts a shade into main, they force a recall. And again, Mindel didn't have to commit. He has the expansion, he has the natural. Has the natural base. MaNa going for his own counter all-in, he has to at this point. It's all or nothing. Mindel is lacking shield batteries. Despite the base finishing up, the shield batteries are going to be delayed. We do need them. So far, just going for extra warpins. Sanji's going to be reinforcing. On ahead towards the main. Recall is on cooldown. No shot. Recall's on cooldown. I mean, does have the prism, thankfully, can juggle over the ramp. Yeah, boys are being pulled. A lot of probes are going to be falling. So much of the army is actually not coming into play. It's going to be 6 probe kills. One immortal goes down. MaNa making the best out of this situation here. Trading as best he can. Catching up the probe counts. Army's going to get cleaned up though. And GG gets called. Yeah, there's nothing else left here. MindelVK takes a lead in the series 2-1 and is 1 game away from advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew, oh my god. And again, it was a crazy build out of MaNa. Winding it back, if you remember, I was shocked when we saw the pylon location. I was like, oh yeah, it should just be like a Stargate or maybe a Twilight Council. He still went proxy Robo. It was a crazy move out of MaNa, again designed to catch his opponent off guard, as we saw MindelVK playing very safe, and he scouted the Robo as well, and that just made the all-in even weaker. Again, typically the reason why we expected that to be a Stargate location is because it's so far away. It's so far away, it didn't make much sense for it to be proxy Robo, but again, like the idea there is most likely for it to just be a bit of a mind game and to catch his opponent off guard to make it look like it isn't going to be proxy Robo when it is. The problem though is that it's also inefficient, right? Like so there was a lot coming into play there when it came to the decision of MaNa's build. Alas, didn't quite come to fruition, was completely shut down, and with that, GG well played. MindelVK is now 1 game away from knocking MaNa out of the tournament. Let's go. Meanwhile, we're catching up with the chat. Thanks so much to Ariel Mortis for subscribing for 2 months. For 2 months, thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the support. I don't want to watch any more StarCraft as long as it's PvP. Are we allowed to balance one yet? No. If you're gonna cry somewhere else. We're here for the PvPs. We're ready for it. Let's go. Let's go. If you don't want to watch PvP, then you don't want to watch StarCraft. That's what we're in. that's where we are right now. Oh no. Welcome to OSC PvP edition. Let's go. As we're jumping into our next game. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player, representing Psystorm Gaming, 1 game away from advancing on to the next round. It is MindelVK. We go. Whew. Oh my god. Once again, Mindel, he is so close to claiming the win here. And now we can settle into Whispers of Gold. Once again, 2 gate openers should be abound for both players. Mindel does have a little bit of breathing room, so we could see Mindel go for an all-in himself, as he does have a 2-1 advantage. So he could take a risk. We'll see who is the first to deviate here, if at all. We could see a standard game. Despite the fact that we're in game 4, so far we've had a lot of aggression in this series. We have yet to really embrace a proper, like, 3-base saturated play. Like we have not gotten into the mid-game yet. It's been all about the aggression, the proxies, the cheese, the 1-base all-ins, the 2-base all-ins. That's all we've seen so far, which I'm all for. That's the best part of PvP. Now And I see Mindel playing. Yeah, for sure. As we mentioned, like MindelVK, lately he's been focusing a lot more on casting, on organizing tournaments. He hasn't been focusing as much on competing. Despite that, has actually played in some tournaments recently and is doing well for himself. He's doing very well. I do still favor MaNa, 100%. I do still favor MaNa overall in a more macro game, in a more macro setting, but that's not what we're getting. Like we're not, we're not macroing. Hello, MaNa. As probes are being sent out, Mindel is looking for the pylon. He does find the second pylon. No proxy. No proxy, not this time. As MaNa, he's going to be delaying his probe scouts. I believe MaNa did not go in. Yeah, he did not go into the main.
Your probes are under attack.
MaNa, he reveals his third pylon. So far, everything looking normal, everything looking standard. Mindel going for the pylon block, as it was a Stalker Sentry opener. Ooh, MaNa going for the Robo before expansion. And Mindel going to be opening up Twilight Council. So Mindel has a more macro setup. Mindel should be expanding. Should be taking a natural base. Meanwhile, from the side of MaNa, I'm curious if he will. He's building. Okay, he's banking up minerals. He should be expanding as well. So both players are expanding, but very different tech choices. Now, with the Robo, I would say that MaNa is going to be more defensive here. In saying that, if you recall earlier in this series, MaNa also went for a Robo opener into early immortal production, and he turned this into a 2-base all-in. If you remember, that was on Frostline. On Frostline, MaNa, he chose to fake a third, he went into Glaives, and he went for an immortal Glaive all-in instead. So that is still going to be an option here for MaNa. So this could still be aggression. Just hitting a little bit later. New uplink is on the way. Mindel poking in. Let's poke in. Oh, that's going to be a kill in the shield battery. Very nice pickup. Shield battery goes Mindel. Hello? Wait, what? As Mindel, he does go for the natural, going for the third base instead. Very unorthodox play here out of MindelVK. As a result, MaNa, he believes it's an all-in. Ooh. So MaNa is throwing down hallucinated stalkers, building up more immortals. Now, on the one hand, yes, he's forcing this reaction, this response out of MaNa, as MaNa's preparing for an all-in. But this defense can very quickly turn into an offense. The Prism has arrived, and soon MaNa can move out. And we'll see if MindelVK can deal with that situation here. Back at home, going for his own Robo. Blink is almost done. Sets up a pylon to reinforce across the map. And right now, MindelVK is only containing. He's going to contain his opponent. Setting up a later expansion. And we're waiting for MaNa to break out. He's up to 2 immortals. Again, MaNa, he goes for 2 more hallucinated stalkers. Got to move out to scouts. Blink is revealed. That should be a tell. Yeah, and he moves out. Does move out across the map. He knows that he is safe to do so. Stalkers do reinforce. Going for the sentry. Gets one. One sentry goes down. MaNa, he commits. Another sentry almost falls. Almost. And MaNa, he will miss the third. He checks the natural, confirm it's not there. And he's like, wait, what? There we go. Does rotate over. The third base is very exposed for MindelVK, and the probes are going down. At the same time, Mindel commits. He tries to. Yeah, voice being pulled away. Mindel caught completely out of position. Pylon goes down. And Mindel, he's racing back home. Yeah, Mindel in a rough position here. Again, he was hoping to try to scare MaNa into staying at home. And he is just not ready at home to defend at all. There's the recall. Late recall as well. And MindelVK is behind. He's down in probes, down in economy. Now, if he can catch this War Prism, true. If he can catch the Prism, then he could just end the game. As this is a very valuable War Prism. MaNa looking for the pylon. We'll find it. Pylon is going to go down. Prism escapes. The observer will find it. Prism gets found. And we have more gates on the way. Now, coming into this game state, I do favor MaNa. I do favor MaNa's position. He has the better economy. He's building up more immortals. But MindelVK, instead of expanding, what do we see? A massive gateway explosion. 5 gates on the way. That's going to be a 7-gate setup. And no gases at the natural. What does this mean? The prism went down. The prism went down! Oh no! Oh, I apologize for missing it here, but the war prism, it did go down. That was 2 immortals falling. And MaNa expands. Okay, so what's happening right now? So MaNa, he just lost the war prism and he just lost 2 immortals. He lost his advantage. Likewise, MaNa is taking a base. Meanwhile, MindelVK is going for an all-in. So everything is looking better for MindelVK. Worse in a longer macro game, but remember, Mindel, he's not taking gases, he's not making probes, not making a third. It's all or nothing for Mindel with this all-in. MaNa checking his vision, he doesn't really see much. He has 2 observers here at the main attack paths. He's saturating his third. Getting to his own gateways, his own charge. But MaNa's in a rough place. Again, if the game can go on a little bit longer, then MaNa can reap the rewards of the expansion. But MaNa needs more time. And MindelVK should not give him that time. Here we go. Here comes the all-in. Here comes the push. MindelVK is up 20 army supply. He's up 20 army supply. Is moving out. Hallucination will miss the main army. He will scout all the gateways, and he should scout the lack of expansion. There we go. The army gets spotted. Now he knows. Here comes the warp in. And MaNa, can he survive? So far, so good. Nice force fields. Buying time. Buying as much time as possible. Rocks get knocked down. MindelVK is moving in. And there's no more force fields, no more sentries from MaNa. Mindel dives in. The immortals are not really doing much in the back line. Yeah, they have to be brought forward. So wasted DPS by MindelVK. Better fight for MaNa initially. Yeah, so again, miscontrol from Mindel. Once again, the immortals, they attack the building, they attack the Nexus. More cells warping in. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Prism is gonna survive. And MaNa, he's shutting this down. Yeah, again, just a blunted attack from MindelVK. Just wasting so much DPS. GG gets called, and MaNa, he will survive. He will fight back, and we're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 5. Again, MindelVK, even though he had a massive army, he kind of did blunder that attack. When he dove on the army, we saw the Zealots and Stalkers move in and fight head-on. The Sentries and Immortals were doing nothing. The Sentries and Immortals, they were wasting DPS on the Nexus the entire time. They were not actually adding or contributing to the main fight. And with that, MaNa, despite being down in supply, was able to take a better trade overall, was able to fight back, able to survive. And now we're going all the way to the ace match. Whew, let's go. We're going all the way to game 5. It all ends here on Amygdala. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. Yeah, I mean, he was so close. He was 1 game away for so long. Still 1 game away. Can he bring it back? It is MindelVK. As we load into one of the larger maps of the map pool. And do we finally get some macro? Do we finally get some 3 base versus 3 base? That has not happened at all this series. We have not seen a mid-game back and forth. That has not happened yet. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on the 2. Does anyone have... is anyone brazen enough, I should say, to proxy, to cheese, to be all in? Oh boy. The probe does move out. Work as they move out across the map. And we'll see if anyone commits into any shenanigans early on. So far, 2 gate openers waiting for the Cybercore. Which units do we begin with? I predict Stalker Sentry from both players. Maybe Sentry into Nexus. Speaking of, yep, there it is. Sentry into Nexus from MaNa. It is a fake second unit. This Zealot should be cancelled. Meanwhile, MindelVK going for a standard Stalker Sentry opener. So MaNa is being greedier, and MaNa will get a faster Nexus. There's a cancel. There's a Nexus. So greedier builds here by MaNa. Mindel does confirm. He is aware. And we'll see how Mindel does respond. As the pressure is now immediately on MindelVK to get some damage done. And there we go. For now, later expansion, later Nexus. Did actually cancel his Stalker to pull that off. So canceled Stalker into a slightly faster Nexus. I mean, the normal. Still slower than MaNa's. MaNa once again opening up Robo. We've seen a lot of Robo play out of MaNa. It is a very safe way to play. Can turn into aggression, as we saw in Frostline, but can also be very successful defensively, like we saw previously on Whispers of Gold. Yeah, Forge as well. This tells us a later game. This tells us we're setting up for a later game state, going for a +1 timing at least. Hallucination dives in, gets eyes on the Twilight Council. So MaNa going to be building up a heavy Immortal army. Meanwhile, MindelVK will have a larger Stalker army instead. This Blink is on the way. Blink is on the way. We have the follow-up Forge from MindelVK as well. MaNa setting up for a third, and he will soon have the money for it. There it is. Insanely fast third base. So fast natural into a fast third. Very greedy play here out of MaNa. He's going for a third off of 2 gateways, and the hallucination does confirm. And once again, MindelVK is being forced into an awkward position to respond to this, and it looks like he's trying to keep up and will also expand. But again, later natural, later third base. MindelVK is 1 step behind. As he throws down 2 more gateways. Oh, okay. So Mindel, he makes a decision. He was setting up for an expansion, but it looks like he will go for faster gateways instead, getting into a 5-gate setup here in the main, which means we might see a 6th gateway. And if we see a 6th gateway, we're going to be going for the all-in. Observer scouts. Observer sees the attempted expansion. You can see MindelVK is making it look. He's trying to make it look real, but it isn't. It is not. Hallucinations. They confirm the production. They confirm the mass amount of gateways on the way. There it is. Proxy 6th gateway. So it's going to be a 2-base 6-gate blink all-in out of MindelVK. Can he break MaNa? It's all or not. Oh, MaNa, he checks. Yeah, he smelled that something was wrong. Something was amiss. Something was just not right. Takes down the pylon. MindelVK tries to respond, but he is being delayed quite heavily here. Nice force fields. Locks down the army. Ooh, 2 Stalkers going down. Yeah, brutal pickoffs. Again, that should not have happened. It's a rough start here for MindelVK. He's been delayed, has been slowed down. Here comes a massive wave of reinforcements, and MindelVK, he has to end the game here and now. It's all or nothing. Forces get thrown in. He does catch 3 sentries. Not bad. Does catch 3 sentries, but that's still 3 more immortals behind this. Yeah, Still 3 more immortals. Does take down some of the shield batteries. Shield batteries are denied. But the immortal count is getting out of hand. He needs to do something about this. Does dive in. Doesn't get the immortals though. Yeah, hopping up here out of MaNa. He's gonna hold. He's gonna survive. He will punish. As he's soon gonna have a 4th immortal as well. And Middle, he was 1 shot away from one-shotting that immortal as well. And he was so close. He was so close. 1 shot away. Once again, nice force field, creating a choke point. The immortals, they break through. MindelVK once again going for the dive. Last, the control is too good though. MaNa, he avoids the shots. He's holding and he's getting further ahead. And Mindel, now he expands. It's a late expansion. Yeah, late 3rd base out of MindelVK. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for the blue Protoss. He's trying to commit. Once again, trying to focus on those immortals. He will not get them. As now MaNa has 4 immortals. Soon to be 5. Mindel, he rotates. MaNa, he spots a rotation with the observer. He's keeping up. Keeping up with the rotations. Ooh. Catching up the stalkers. Yeah, brutal trades. 1 immortal finally goes down. He gets 1. He gets 2. Still a rough trade there for Mindel. Still falling further behind. The Depths, they shade in. The shield batteries in position. The probes, they survive. Yeah, the 2 probes going down. Again, things are looking bleak here from Mindel. He's doing whatever he can here to try to bounce back in this game. Trying to pull his opponent apart. But it's not working. GG gets called. He runs out of steam. And MaNa with the comeback. He recovers in the series. It was down 2-1. But he brought it back. And MaNa, he will take the series at 3-2. GG. Whew, GG, well played. I'm always one for an underdog story, and MindelVK was the underdog coming into this series. I would have expected a 3-0. I'm not gonna lie, I would have expected a 3-0 in favor of MaNa. He was the heavy favorite coming into this. Despite that though, a very intense series, very intense, very back and forth. MindelVK fought back very hard, and he almost won this series as well. He almost took it. I'll be honest, I'm still thinking about Whispers of Gold. I'm still thinking about Whispers. I'm still thinking about the all-in. Still thinking about the wasted DPS on that Nexus. Like we saw for almost the entire fight, the Immortals were just not coming into play for MindelVK. If he had some better army movement, some better army positioning, and better army control, then maybe he could have broken through then and there and maybe won the series. But outside of that, of course, MaNa did play very well here to recover, to bounce back, never gave up. GG. GG, well played. MaNa does take it in the end, and with that, we have our matches wrapping up. We have our matches wrapping up for the day. Un momento. Just updating the brackets as we switch our scenes over and catch up. And there we have it here. We had 4 best of 5s today. We had 4 best of 5s. We had a Classic versus Arcfire. We had a crazy upset to start the night with Arcfire taking down Classic 3-2. Very impressive win there from Arcfire. That should not have happened. So a big upset, a big win for Arcfire. Scrolling down, Creator took down Mixu 3-0. A lot of Glaive Adepts. A lot of Glaive Adepts. And again, Mixu did not play badly. He did not play badly at all. He had some great defense against the Glaive Adepts. It was the aftermath. It was the follow-up, which is where Mixu was struggling the most, which is where Mixu did falter, did fall. So in the end, Creator did take the series. He was favored. Scrolling down, HomeMono versus Night Phoenix. That was a banger of a series as well. Was very intense, very chaotic. HomeMono, he's a very cheesy player, and he tried to all-in the hell out of Night Phoenix. Night Phoenix, he weathered the storm. Did it very well performing against HomeMono, as Night Phoenix is very familiar with him as a player. So very nicely done. And that led us into the final best of 5, also into the ace match. Something about these PvPs, non-stop ace matches here tonight, which again almost went the way of MindelVK, was so close, but alas, MaNa did bring it back, did survive with some stronger defensive play, both on Whispers of Gold and even here on the Amygdala as well, as MaNa was dictating the pace, was being greedier, did force responses out of Mindel, and did win it in the end. Did take it in the end. GG, well played. Congratulations to MaNa, Night Phoenix, Creator, and Arrowfire for advancing on. And that will conclude our current broadcast for the morning. Here. Tomorrow we're going to be back with part 2 of the lower bracket round 2 of the OSC Season 12 Championship. Tomorrow's matches you can actually see before you. Bam! Here and now. You can see tomorrow a lot more Zerg. Tomorrow we're going to be casting Nickrat versus Wayne in a TVZ, Nightmare versus Shameless in a PvP, Rebellion versus Solar, and Young Yakov versus Spirit. These are tomorrow's matches, as again our schedule is very busy today. We cannot cover everything in one broadcast. Why is that exactly? Why cannot we cover everything here and now? Well, as we head on over to our weekly schedule, you can see here before you, we have a very busy Monday. Today is Monday, of course. We just wrapped up with our first broadcast in the morning at 9 a.m. KST. Up in how many hours? In 6 hours. In 6 hours time, we're going to be live with the Fairy Cup. That's going to be at 6 p.m. KST or 8 p.m. AEST. We're going to be live with the Fairy Cup. That is going to be a show match here. We have a show match, a best of 7 between Bjorn and Zaun. Look forward to it. It's going to be a banger of a best of 7. Shout out to the people behind the Fairy Cup. For those that are curious, that is Little Fairy. The people that do work on Little Fairy. They are organizing some show matches, and they actually reached out. They reached out to us if we wanted to bring some English coverage to their events. We agreed, and that is going to be later on tonight, just before the Wardy TV Monday. So 3 casts. We have 3 casts tonight. It's going to be very intense, very busy. OSC Season 12 Championship, into the Fairy Cup, into the Wardy TV Monday. So because we have so much going on today, that is why we are going to be splitting the OSC broadcast in half. So half today and half tomorrow. As you can see, tomorrow is going to be the Pigastore Monday and part 2 of the lower brackets round 2 OSC Season 12 Championship. Likewise, on Wednesday we have Code for Giants Cup. On Thursday we have the International Tussle. We have the Pondcast. We have Alima League, a 2-parter of Alima League, as Alima League is a 2-day event, as this is the winter finals of Alima League. So Friday and Saturday, double day of Alima League. We have the Warcraft 3 Evolution Kung Fu Cup, we have MSO, and we have Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So we have plenty of coverage, plenty of content here throughout the week. I'm very tempted to actually have another broadcast actually, but for those that are curious, the reason why there is no broadcast on the morning of Sunday is because we're actually going to be busy adminning. We won't be casting, we're going to be adminning the Euthermal 2v2 Cup. There's the Euthermal 2v2 tournament for the month of February. That is going to be on Sunday, and Saturday evening, Sunday morning, and we're going to be busy adminning that event, which means we won't be able to cast. No casting there in the morning, adminning instead. Still work for the CranKy Ducklings, but a different kind of work instead. So yeah, we're going to be working behind the scenes on the Euthermal's 2v2 tournament. Otherwise, we're wrapping up for the day. Again, plenty of content on the channel. If you missed something, or if you see something that you want to watch and you can't watch it live, then check us out on YouTube. !socials in the chat, and you will get a link to our YouTube channel, to our Patreon, to our Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings, TikTok as well. We're all over the place, so you can check us out there if you wish. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you want to support us monetarily, if you want to support our tournaments, you can do so via Patreon. I actually didn't get to shout out Patreon yesterday. I should have, but our Patreon does fund Sparkling Tuna Cup and Master Sworn Open. The tournaments that we run here on a regular basis are funded via Patreon. So if you want to support us, that is the place to do it. Otherwise, you can also support us via subscribing as well. With that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you had a great time, and we will see you later on tonight in 6 hours time with Björn versus Down in a best of 7 and with the Wardy TV Monday. A lot of content, a lot of casting, a lot of StarCraft. We'll see you then. Oh god, I'm dying. We'll see you then. We'll see you later tonight. I'm gonna go get some rest. I'm gonna go edit some VODs and try to get some sleep before the cast. We'll see you next time. See you next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.